Hey, good morning. Good morning, YouTubers. This is Bag of Don, Stock Market Caddy. And you know the drill. Any questions, feel free to place them in the chat. We're busy doing our job and doing our work. But we thought we'd go ahead and give you a view here right in the middle of the day. We had a little issue this morning and very, very unusual. TradeStation is superb, absolutely superb. I have not had to call them for technical support. My experience, months and months and months, and we've used them for years. They're really, really good. And but when you need them, and they're just great. And I did need them. I had a particular feature of TradeStation that somehow or another got corrupted, probably my fault. And they walked us through it and got us up and running in no time. So really, really good. The platform is constantly expanding and growing. Um, there are things we use it day in and day out. There's not just a few things. There's many things. It's great. Um, a great platform, and it's great because it's made from traders and traders' suggestions. So I can't, we wouldn't be able to do what we do from a trading standpoint without them. I'll just put it that way. And for years, I spent my career, my life with surgeons, surgical instruments, and they're pretty, it's a pretty exacting crew. So this platform is really a surgical instrument. And let's just take a look at what's going on here this morning at 11 a.m. We're back to running a little program. Yesterday, we were experimenting trying to get the program to run at a little bit faster. When it was all said and done, we finished with a modest profit yesterday. When it was all said and done. But so we've slipped it back to more of the settings of what we had last week. Any annual members that need and want the exact program and the exact settings, just let me know. But when we look at Swing Machine, let's mark this up here a little so you can see what is taking place here this morning or midday. We have the VIX right here on a 5-minute basis going long at what time? 9:35. 9:35. That is a warning that this market is likely to take a turn down. And let's go look. So we match up. Let's go look at the 5-minute on the ES. Right there at 9:35, right on the dot, the ES goes short at 43.27. Now, if you remember and you had this on your desktop and you took that trade with a mini contract, yes, you would be up $650. If you did it with a micro, you're up 65. If you did it with 10 minis, yeah, you're up 6,000. All right, let's take a look at the NQ. The NQ on a 5-minute goes short at 10:05. The YM goes short at 9:35. Now, bucking the trend is the Russell. And the Russell, that sucker's long. What the hell's with that? So that is a little suspicious to me. That because that's usually an appetite for risk, and that thing is long at 8:35. So that gives me a little bit of pause. That maybe this little dip down here is one last little flush before we get a significant bounce. Maybe. Don't want to overthink it. And then let's take a look at gold. Now, gold is really taking it on the chin, and that's in large part because the dollar is rising in a risk-off move, and gold is getting hit. So Peter Schiff has got some indigestion there. Gold just can't seem to get out of its way. And then oil, look at oil. Oil literally on fire. And is it going to make, the big speculation, is it going to make it to 100? Boy, I got to tell you something. If it makes it to 100, then the question is going to make it to, 105, 110. The all-time high in oil is about 140. So It can get going. So you remember all the oil that FJB, Joe Biden, he was pulling all the oil from the reserves. Well, he can't do that anymore. We don't have any reserves. And if he needs to replenish it, and we're going to pay. We're going to pay through the nose. Thank you, Joe Biden. Ugh, God. Whatever. It is what it is. And in the meantime, our little program, let's take a look. And I'm, when it comes to all this at DC, I'm disgusted with all of them. All of them. There's a few standouts. Somebody's got to get control of it. But any case, this is where we be. And so any trades you see up here are going in on the machine. I'm going to try not to, interfere. We're trading. We try to trade. We try as best we can to trade mechanically, robotically, so that we can we can maximize our time, maximize our capital, and minimize our emotions is the idea. You're welcome to visit the site. You're welcome to post any questions in the chat log. I'll try to keep a peek on it. And you're also welcome to call any day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 813-758-8263. Good luck, everybody. We'll be here. So we're gonna see, we're a little we'll mark this up here a little bit. We're a little suspicious of this sell-off this morning. On a short-term basis, we're pretty extended, right? We have on a daily, we had the VIX in euphoria, we had the market in panic, and then suddenly the sell-off this morning was accompanied with this action on the Russell, this long. See this? And that is an indication in and of itself of a appetite for risk. So we're thinking that this market might want to rally out of here. Now the machine is doing its own thing over here. This is being controlled by the machine. Hopefully that takes it up. We're to the good 339, and we'll see how that plays out. But that's my instincts. I'm not trading my instincts today, but I sometimes like to test my instincts. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll get rid of these markers. And it's not every time. So every time you see the Russell do something like that, you don't want to necessarily, but it's just a combination of factors. Market pretty fearful, a little bit overdone. We'll see how it plays. And if any folks that are passing through on YouTube have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. We'll try to periodically take a peek. And we are back at it again each and every day. It's a beautiful thing. Really, really good trading. When the markets are moving like this, to draw a trout fishing analogy, it's like fishing for trout when there's a hatch. They're hatching. The little bugs on the bottom of the river start to hatch, and they float up, and everybody's just gorging. Pretty easy to catch the fish. So hopefully we should have a very nice day. Hope you are too. Okay, now we could intervene, but we're going to choose not to here. It's still early in the day, and let's see if we can get the machine to pick this off. No emotion, no stress. Eh, great game. She's close. But we could, right? We could if we chose to. Again, if you have any questions on what we're doing, we are mechanical, robotic traders and hedges is what we're doing, right? And bingo, bingo. Got a nice fat one there. So that fish is in the basket. He's in the trout basket. Swing machine's doing a pretty nice job. Pretty comfortable. Now, if you were listening to Peter Schiff last night, he's telling you to buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. Live automated option trading. Is that a question or is that somebody tagging us? Never really know, right? Let me know. I see I don't know if there's a question embedded in that. This is futures trading. And but we can use these tools to trade stock and therefore trade options. It's just that options cannot be traded fully automated, because you got to get limit orders in there, and otherwise you're going to get scalped, right? But futures are beautiful, right? So if you've got a question in there, let me know. I'm happy to answer. You know, this YouTube thing, I don't know what the story is. It tells us that it's supposed to tell us how many people are there, but we can tell that it's not. I don't know if it's on a lag or a delay or not accurate, but it doesn't seem to be terribly accurate. So we don't always, and we can't see who's there. But so if you have any questions, bear with us, and if you punch them up, we'll try to answer. We have been doing this a long time. There he is. See, the YouTube tells us there's nobody there, but oh, okay. Yeah, I failed doing it. Trade in Indian market will switch over time. Nah, not a question. Yep, I failed doing it in the Indian market. So the Indian market is futures. Well, that's great. Are you in India? Awesome. Beautiful. Isn't that crazy? Right? You're in India, we're in Tampa, Florida, just doing our thing. Do you have access to the American markets? You may not. These futures markets are going to be the biggest, deepest, most liquid markets in the world. And we trade futures intraday. We trade futures intraday because they're highly liquid. The difference between the bid and the ask is very, very tight. So we can move in, move out, just that, surgical precision. Options, options are not that liquid. Now, some are more liquid than others. And yep, I'm an Indian citizen. And like, I don't have capital for futures, so I trade in Indian only. Nope, we can trade in stocks of US, but not futures or options of US. Oh, that's interesting. Hmm, interesting. Don't have capital for futures. It's funny because here in the US, it takes less capital to trade futures than it does to trade stocks, but every place is so different. Well, welcome. You're welcome to watch, and we're trading a specific program that's trading over here, point and figure, and it's doing its thing, and that's what it's done here in the last hour or two. And then Swing Machine is monitoring the markets. Now it can monitor any of the markets. I don't know if you have TradeStation in India. You might, um, but it's a fantastic program, or fantastic platform. This is our product called Swing Machine, operating on the TradeStation platform. And we have about 60 or 70 proprietary programs that we're running. So we don't have any members from in India now, so I don't know what you have available. No, we do have members in Germany, in Hungary, England, I believe, and not France. Um, so there are certain restrictions on different things in different countries. So enjoy. Again, we'll just say if anyone is passing through on YouTube, this is stockmarketcaddy.com. We're giving you a view of how we go about doing some of our trading. And if you're looking specifically at a product of ours called SMC, Swing Machine Plus, this can be used to trade stock. It can be used to trade futures, which is what it's doing. It can be used to trade options, therefore. It's just one of 70 proprietary tools, and it can be used on virtually in any market if you have TradeStation, which is a multinational company based in Plantation, Florida. We don't have any affiliation with TradeStation other than being a very happy customer. But if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. We'll try to watch periodically. We're also running, in addition to running Swing Machine, which is what you're seeing visually, we're running a program that is operating on that little chart on the right-hand side. And it will enter and exit on its own. And we're keeping a casual eye on that. Enjoy. Okay, so it's in another trade. Now we could intervene, just letting everyone know we could intervene and grab a quick profit there, $75, $80. We're not trading for that little amount, but we could, right? And but we're going to let the machine run its course. And if it's a profit objective, it will grab it. So the idea here is that we don't want to be exercising our emotions of greed and fear. Just kind of sit back, relax, stand up, take a walk, get on the treadmill, and just take our time. Markets in a very much in a bearish phase. Our timing model for our all our members officially went short the market on the 20th, 6 or 7 days ago, and it's still short. Now, once again, we could go up there and capture that profit. I could do any number of things. I could set a break-even stop on it. But the program's got it. We're going to let it run its course here. Swing machine is on this trade once again, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. This market decided we're going down some more. Yeah, exactly, Ken. Purely, up to each individual person. Question is coming in as to, how and when we might decide to take a profit. And it's, any number of things. It could be, in this instance, we're to the good, $659.20 on the account. So when we're up like that, I'm more patient. Also, I'm looking at Swing Machine and she's all red, right? And she is trending down. So, I'm inclined to let it run. We also could be looking at any number of charts. You could have visibility on any number of charts to decide. And so it's infinite. And you could do a number of things too. So you can see the little asterisk beside the 3 up there in that contract. Now, if it runs up about $600, the machine is going to take the profit. So that I know. But I could also go in and I could set, if it's unnerving me, which it isn't, I could turn the strategy off, set a break even stop, or a $50 profit. So I'm guaranteed to make $50 and then let it run. Maybe we're in it for 2 or 3 hours. Maybe it runs up 600, 800, 1200, 15, 2 grand. Who knows, right? Entirely possible, especially on a day like today. But so it's very individual. We do keep a casual eye though. So if I was down, let's say I was down $350 and it's getting to be late in the day. It's 2 in the afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. And I want to be, I'm like, you know what? We struggled today. I really don't want to finish the day on a losing note. And so maybe I just run up, capture the money, clean up the loss, regroup for another day. Could do that too. That helps. Yes. Hey, Ben. Ben, good to see you. I didn't see your message there right away because we don't have visibility on that pop-out window. Do you or your wife do your own easy one? Yeah, we both do. Yeah, we both do. Susan is exceptional. Pains me to say this. She's exceptional anyways, but she's exceptionally good at math. Yep. Yep. Always has. I got a beat when it comes to spelling. I went to parochial school. I thought I was good at math until her math skills are superb. So it's very helpful, but we both code. And also too for our members, should know this. For annual members, if you're an annual member and you're seeing something on a screen, or you have an idea, or you have a concept, or someone else has something, and we will, okay, and the machine just took a profit there. Okay, so and she turned right around and kept going. So if you can write the instructions out in English, we will attempt to code it, and we will back test it. We'll code it. We'll back test it. We'll forward test it, with a couple of caveats. One, it's within our skill set that we can do it. So sometimes or it can be done, right? There's some things that can't be done. But we haven't run into anything yet that we can't do. So, but secondly, we don't have a timetable on that. So it doesn't cost you anything more, but I don't have a time deadline. However, if it's something really unique, really novel, we're going to be just as interested in getting it done. So we will try to work on it as fast as we can. We will make it available to you, and we will also make it available to, a beta group, right? So everyone benefits from it. Okay, so whether or not this trade down in here, we'll let the machine run it out. Now we've had a couple of winners here in a row, so we're getting kind of extended down. So I may choose to intervene here. Ken was asking, so if we run up another 200-300 and maybe I don't think we can get to 600, I might take a quick scalp and then see if we catch a little bit of a bounce. Ben is asking, is it part of the Q school lesson? No, we don't teach the coding. TradeStation does. They're very, very good. And there's easy language, there's also object learning. And we have members that are software engineers that do their own coding as well. And but I don't teach it because I'm self-taught, and the software engineers would probably freak out, at how I can get it done, but how I get there is not probably, conventional coding skill. I can maneuver, I can get it there, but I probably would, if we were to teach coding, a true professional coder would probably freak out. So, and I don't even know if I could, yeah, I'm not traditionally trained on it. Susan has some traditional, or actually a lot more than I did. Susan's background was IBM Lotus Software, so she had some exposure there professionally. That makes sense. But that said, we will, yeah, but we can, help around the edges, right? So there are certain concepts and certain things that we can do, and that we will work with folks. You don't have to be a programmer, but if you are, great. We don't discourage it, encourage it. Do we use Portfolio Maestro to manage multiple robotic strategies? We're not using Portfolio Maestro. Probably should. But we do, have, yeah, so, yeah, but at the moment, we're not, pushing off of Portfolio Maestro. Another question. Have you got a question? Hey, I've got a question. Why aren't you just making money off those yourself and stop selling your software? Well, that's a fair question. It's a very fair question. First thing is, we don't sell the software. So this isn't Ben's question. So the question is, why aren't you just making money off that yourself and stop selling your software? Well, first thing is, we're not selling the software, right? So none of the software is for sale individually. What you can purchase is a membership. We have two levels of membership: a monthly membership, where you get a video view of the markets each and every night. So for instance, and we have a program that we call the Nicholas timing model. Our members got to see it go short the markets on September 20th. That position is probably up about $30,000 in each one. So monthly members get to see actionable trading opportunities from the algos at night. The annual members get to get access, if they go through the Q school, all the programs that we have. Why did we do this? Well, Susan and I started out in the early 2000s to take control over this part of our life. And so we've been doing it a long time. And around 2011, 2012, we got the idea. We didn't start with this idea, but we got the idea for stockmarketcaddy.com. And the big part of it is the way that we trade, it's boring as hell. It's just boring. It's boring. And but boring is good. And I like people. Susan likes people. And for years, we traveled about. I taught surgeons how to do surgery. Susan worked for IBM and Florida Software. And then suddenly we find ourselves with, Susan has a home office. I have a home office. We're doing our trading, and that's the only contact we have. I mean, we didn't go back and do those other gigs. So, we like people, and we thought, you know what? I wonder if there are other people out there that, want to learn. Now, one of the things that I'll address, that I always had this question too. So it's not a rude question. I used to ask that question too in the early 2000s. Like, if somebody has something, why share it? Why, by sharing it, is it going to like not work all of a sudden? Like everybody's going to be doing it. That's the holy grail. Man, I've got to be commend you for doing daily live streams for nearly no views. Yeah, I get to. It's so boring. Yeah, well, you know what? There are folks that pass through. We do little to no advertising either, right? So, we never thought that we were going to have thousands of views. I mean, you're not going to see me. I mean, I suppose if I put myself in a caddy suit and showed you some cleavage, I could have, thousands of members. But we're not doing that either. So we're not doing this for clicks and whatever. We're just out to help individual, real people. And we said that we would do this if there was just one person. But one of the things, though, that I had was this idea, this concern that, if a person was doing something, and what you have to realize that you may not, and the purpose of these videos or these live sessions is to make people aware of things that they just may not know. And one of the things that you may or may not know is there is no holy grail. There is none. There is no one trade. And by the way, the machine just took that trade off. There is no one trading program on, that you can plug into any and all markets, and it's just going to automatically print you money. So just disavow yourself of that notion. If you are looking for that, you are looking for something that doesn't exist. And if you are looking for something that doesn't exist in life, I don't care what it is, but if you have think about it, if you have unreal expectations of whatever, a spouse, a football team, whatever, an employer, you are going to be disappointed. So I will, bend over backwards to make sure that people understand there is no holy grail when it comes to a trading program. There is not an algorithm. There is not a trading program that you are going to be able to purchase or lease, or even as a member, plug in and automatically print you money. And with that, QU is probably going to like, well, on the hell of that, I'm getting the hell out of here. That's what I want. Yeah, I know that's what you want. Joking, but it doesn't exist. The holy grail is you. The man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror. That's the holy grail. And some people are comfortable with that. Most people are not. So you must have good acquired trading skill. You cannot watch one video. You cannot go out and buy the best golf clubs and go out and automatically start playing golf. Not going to happen, right? You can't watch one golf video and buy the best clubs or rent the best clubs and think you're just going to, play. Not a good idea. You got to have good acquired golfing skill. Same thing with diving. You're probably best to have some diving skill. can you go on vacation and take a quick lesson in the pool and go diving? Yeah, but you're not going to dive with me. I'm not going to do that. Um, I've got to, let's see here. Easily, I don't think I know anyone who will spend 16th a day, spend 16 hours a day looking at numbers except me. It takes a lot of all-nighters to make a very profitable bot. Yeah, so you know, you do need to have a passion for this, right? You do, and it can be pretty boring. Um, do you have to be in front of a screen 16 hours a day? No, you don't have to. But if you're comfortable, you do need to have a passion for doing this, right? But also too on the quiet trading skill, you need to have a quiet trading skill to fly a plane, so and the problem is Q is asking this. This is the and why we do this, and it sparks a conversation, and hopefully it sparks some thinking. People come at this through no fault of their own, filled with tons of misinformation. And it comes from Wall Street and Madison Avenue. It's one and the same. These two streets, Wall Street and Madison Avenue, are the masters of misinformation. The information that is out there is self-serving to them. To them. That's how they got to build those big buildings. It's how come they have the big homes out in the Hamptons, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket. So when you come at this, and so a lot of people come at this, like, for instance, one of the questions that we'll get all the time is, well, what is your performance? What is my performance? What is the performance of Swing Machine? What is the performance of that bot, that program? What is the performance? And I understand what that is. And we do during the Q school drill down into the performance characteristics of those programs. We absolutely do. But what folks need to understand, and most can't handle this, is that the performance is going to be based on what you do. On you, not me. I'm not managing your money. We're not making specific recommendations to buy or sell. If you want performance and you want to hold a firm accountable, you want to hold a program accountable for that performance, then what a person seeks and needs and what they want is a mutual fund, a hedge fund, maybe, or go for it. I mean, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that at all, but that's not us, right? We're providing a perspective in a tool set to help a person who has a passion, has an interest to jumpstart their own trading. Because embedded in all of this, and we can point to different things that are going on even today, but we're continuing to trade. You could stop right here, right now, and just turn the program off, and you're up $985.60. Okay, now, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day, but there are 20 trading days in a month. You may trade for just 2 or 3 hours. You may trade for just an hour. I mean, there's just so many variables, and that's why we're not concerned about. And the markets are so deep with anybody stepping on each other's toes. But happy to answer any question. And but Ben, we will. For instance, like, we have a program that is actually very, very good, and it's called Trading the Opening Range. I was not familiar with trading the opening range. I got to say that. And we have a member that saw this, and he was able to describe it. And we wrote a program for trading the opening range, particularly helpful when trading stocks. And it's very, very good. And we made it available for everybody. So, in any case, but we'll let you watch, and that makes sense. Now, I will say this too, just so that everybody knows. Monthly members, it's $100 a month, and it's month to month, and it's unlimited. So you join for a month, you don't find the value, you don't have the value, you're free to go. You'll learn a lot. It's $100. Very, very rarely do we lose any monthly members. Very, very rarely. And so we don't pester anybody like join for 6 months, and it's a Labor Day special and we'll give you, we don't. It's month to month, and it is what it is, and we think it's very good. By the way, we're also building out a second website just dedicated for members. That is going to be a repository of more information. We're working on it as we speak. We try to do everything ourselves. Everything is homegrown. When you grow it yourself, you can, you're in a better position to make adjustments. The second level of membership is an annual membership, and Q, we won't let you join today. Nobody can join and this may sound strange because we do slow it down. You can't join as an annual member. Just go and join. If you do, we're going to send you your money back, which we've done, because you have to go through once what we call the Q School. And it's right now, it's a 3-week program. And everyone's got to go through it, whether you have trading experience or not. And we're deliberately trying to slow the process down. And during that Q School, you have a live Zoom feed, and we have an educational process that we want to put you through. And we want to spend 1 to 2 hours with you on average per day. Now, it may not, with schedules, it may be different, but that's what we need and want to do. At the end of the Q School, then is where you have the decision to make. We'll hold an annual license open for you, but we do have a limited number every year. But if you go into the Q School, we'll hold one open. At the end of the Q School, if you decide to become an annual member, we'll credit you back 30% of the cost of the Q. Then once you become an annual member, you do need TradeStation at that point. You must have TradeStation because our programs only work on TradeStation. And then it takes us about a week, and we'll start sending you all the programs and all the instruction, and you will have had a lot of the instruction, and you are underway. You still get, as an annual member, you still get a live Zoom feed, not YouTube, but a live Zoom feed. We're still available to you to answer questions, but not from a hand-holding. The Q School is very intense, and it is hand-holding, and it's very intense. We can't maintain that type of contact because we are doing our own trading and we have a lot of other folks, but it isn't like we disappear. So you would go to plug in a program, it's not working, we'll give you the technical support, immediately. It's not like we disappear. But we're not making, we're not running a trading room. We're not saying, specifically, do this, do that, or managing anyone's money. But I can tell you here, as we look at Swing Machine as an example, let's just mark this up again. We're here. It's the middle of the day. It's 12:30. We did this earlier. The Swing Machine on a 5-minute went long the VIX at 935. So that would have been an indication, and this is on the desktop. But members can configure this any way they want. They can do ticks, they can do different times. But that was an indication that the market is likely to turn down, and turn down it did. The S&P in particular, and it turned south at 935, exactly the same time. Now, Q, if you took it short, and you made $500 and you came out, well, then you made $500 and you came out. If trader B, someone else, is still riding it, well, then they're up 1,500, and you're sitting out. But there are 20 trading days, in a month. And if you made your 500, you made your 500. Hopefully you got the patience and the discipline to sit out. The NQ went short at 10:05, 1500. The Dow went short at, and this is on a mini contract, right? So 1,000. If you're trading a micro, it's 1/10 the size. It's not 1,500, it's 150. If you traded 10 minis, it's 15 grand. And the Russell had been long, and the Russell is now giving it up at 12:05. Gold, look at gold, is short at 10:35. If you took gold short, yep, you're up 2,400. And if you took oil long, here you'd be up 2,400. That was early this morning. Embedded in that is a lot of different choices, though, right? Ben is watching. Ben, may have made his money here, and he made his money here. I mean, it's very individual, right? And that individual in those types of decisions, that's where we spend, an intense amount of time for those 3 weeks, trying to help you understand your own trading personality. And because in the end, the only thing that matters, again, the man in the mirror, it's you. What do you have the skill for this? I hope so, but I don't know. Does everybody? No. 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 But we want to try to help you identify your trading personality, and then you kind of mix and match and fit, different programs to do that. And then you're in your silo and you do your thing. And you want to reach out to us and say hello and chat about anything, we're here. But that makes sense. Please don't pass by and see this as some sort of red light, green light system. Because again, you can't buy this, right? You can't buy it. And you can't join as an annual member today. I'm not going to do that. And we have people that have told us, well, that's crazy. You would have a lot more members if they didn't have to go through that foolish, Q school, and you just speed this thing up. Yeah, we probably would. And guess what? We'd probably have a lot more headaches too, because there are things that you just don't know, And, I could ask you, do you know how to trade point and figure? Do you know how to trade Rinko, custom Rinko, classic Rinko? Do you know how to trade line break? Do you know how to trade range bars? Do you understand how to hedge? Do you know how to trade multiple time frames together, multiple markets? It isn't, you just can't, pop something in. I wish it was that easy. I've been told that 3 weeks isn't enough, that we should really go 4 weeks. It should be longer, but we can only go so far, right? Get you hopefully underway. 3 weeks seems to be a comfortable number at the moment. That makes sense? I hope so. Okay, now I didn't put that trade in. The machine did right over here, right? It's running algo, right? We're off. It had a high watermark of some $1,200, but it's doing its thing. If you want to, as an acid test, if you have a stock or a market that you want me to plug in right now, let me know what it is, and we'll plug it into Swing Machine, and we'll be able to see. We don't have to, talk in terms of time stamping. It's automatically stamped. It'll tell you whether it's long or short or long, and where it went in and at what price. And and we'll see it. And I'm happy to do that. You can do this with stock. The reason why we don't do it with stock is if I was buying 100 shares of the S&P, the SPY, trading at, what's it trading at? 430 something dollars. If I bought 100 shares of the SPY, it would cost me $43,000, right? It's a lot of capital. And if I make $200 or $500, what is my return on that? I use $43,000 worth of capital to make 500 bucks. Then I've got to be concerned with wash sale rules and this and that and that and this. So it's not an efficient use of capital. Here it's very efficient. And when I trade the S&P futures contract, between the hours of 9 and 4, we're only using about $1,800. The Nasdaq's about 1,900. So when we use $1,900, and by the way, all these trades have come in after 9. So if we were to shut off right now, if I used $1,900 in capital and we net, 900, what is the return on that, right? Pretty darn good. But we also, we don't keep score of the percentages. We keep score on something called profit factor too. So now I'm very, very comfortable. You know, I have not had one person, and I've had people come into the Q school that have had more trading experience than me. And I've not had one person come through the Q school and say that they didn't learn anything. I had one person, we had 2 people not go on that I can think of, not go on to be an annual member. One person was computer challenged by his own admission. It was a shame because I think he would have done really, really well. He did well, but he hated computers and he didn't understand he didn't have the program, but he didn't know how to copy and paste. And he just said, Don, I'm a trader. I hate computers. I'm like, okay, well then why do something you hate? The other guy, I'm not really sure to this day what happened. I'm really not. He disappeared on the last week, and I thought maybe something happened or he got hurt. I don't know. And then he said to me on the last day, "This is crazy. This is crazy. It's going to take me more than a year to learn this." And I laughed. I said, "You're kidding me." I said, "At your pace, it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer than a year. And in fact, it's going to take everybody a lifetime. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. But I got a kick out of it because he disappeared. He ghosted himself. He only cheated himself for about 4 or 5 days. And then he was, so I don't know what he thought, so I try to make sure it is going to be an intense 3 weeks. So make sure you have if you're going to do it, make sure you have some time. You have to work around your schedule. We'll work with you, but you're going to drink this up by the fire hose. There's just a lot of shit that's going to come your way, and it's good stuff. It's good shit. It's good trading stuff. I've never had a person say that, wow, that was skimpy. That wasn't, I didn't really learn much. It's a lot. It's a lot. And you'll be doing it the rest of your life. And you can be doing it with futures, you can be doing it with options, you can be doing it with stock. And there's a a risk there for us, right? I mean, I've got to, and if at the end of the 3 weeks you don't learn, or you're not, which it hasn't happened. It's not, and I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let that happen. So I can't promise you an outcome though. I can't. I wish I could. I can't. Have we had members struggle? I'm sure, at various points. I've had one member say that in the beginning, he's like, nothing works. And then he gets to a place where, and this happened more, everything starts working. You know, it's like, what was I doing? Why didn't you tell me? You know, it's hard to know. We've also had members blow us away, meaning just do exceptionally well. And that's okay. It's not a zero-sum game. Their success, your success isn't going to detract from what Susan and I do. Susan does what she does day in, day out. I pretty much have my flow. Yeah, I got it pretty well, you know, but so any case, I won't ramble. We'll let you watch, although it's pushing 1 o'clock. YouTube, we're gonna have to turn down at 1. We came on at about 11, middle of the day. And we know that you know, that folks sometimes see these videos a little bit, you know, afterwards. It's up on YouTube so they can come and go. Those folks that do, don't hesitate to visit the site. Can you talk more about the 1-by-1 session in the Q School? Is it Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 hours per day? What's the focus? Yeah. So what we do, Ben, is ideally, it's 3 weeks plus. You know, we say plus because we're going to work around your schedule. We have a live Zoom feed, a dedicated Zoom feed just for Q School. So it wouldn't be here. We have another, you know, dedicated setup, and we control the view. And so in the beginning, the first day or two, it's still swing machine with specific instruction to follow. But then we start controlling the view, and we're running programs, and we're inviting you to trade. We would like the person in Q School to stay in a simulated environment, so that they can focus on learning and on their trading, and not be focused on making or losing money. We set up the context there. Ideally, we'd like to spend an hour to no more than 2 with the person each and every day. However, we do know that, you know, the work schedules, and this is all part of Q School. How does this fit into your life? A person may or may not be able to do that. So, you know, we'll discuss it individually in advance, and we're prepared to work around that. Some people we do at night. Some people, you know, we catch up on the weekends. I would prefer to do it, you know, when the market is open, and it may not be every single day because of their schedule. It's usually, we don't have a problem. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have a conflict, but generally that's what we're doing. And we have an itinerary of where we want to go. And so we want to, if it takes 3, why we say 3 plus, if it's 3 weeks and a couple of days or 3.5 weeks, we're going to take whatever time is necessary to go through. And a lot of that is going to also dictate to the person what they gravitate toward. At the end of the Q School, though, you'll actually be trading and keeping your own score. So what happens is, if we do it right, which we try to do it right, the person toward the end is like, okay, I got this and I want to get underway. I've had enough. I appreciate it, Don, but it's time for me to get going, because I want to start doing this with real money, and I want to start getting underway. Does that make sense? Oops, drop my glasses there. But that's what we try to do. Ideally, if you're thinking about it, Ben, we could talk on the phone and discuss, you know, privately your you know, person's schedule. And the Zoom feed, by the way, is open 24 hours. You know, it's open round the clock. Now, you will do better at trading in normal session hours than overnight hours, but it is open. It is open, and you know, people can do that and measure it. And, but we're going to cover some of the things, one of the biggest things that we want to cover early on is taking negative outliers off the table. You're going to have losing trades, but we don't want negative outliers. We don't want any blowups. And we're going to do that mechanically, robotically. We're going to take them completely off the table. We do want positive outliers though, right? And you will get those. And again, we're doing it mechanically. By the way, if you have TradeStation, you don't have to have TradeStation, but if you have TradeStation during the Q School, it's better because we can really expedite you. They're great in support and education, but we can really expedite your learning curve on TradeStation, and we can begin to send you some programs to run and to look at as you're going, and you get the idea what it means to receive the program, get it plugged in. It's encrypted and it's protected only for a few weeks, but you get a chance to see it, get a chance to run these things, and that's good. That makes sense. What we're trying to do, if you think about it, our memberships, what we're really trying to do is we're trying to give people, and it slows it down, the opportunity to say, no, this isn't for me. They joined for a month. It doesn't happen very often, but a person joined. No, I don't like this. This isn't any good. This is not for me. I don't know if they say it's any good, but it's not for me. And with the Q School, the same thing. If you go through, and we're asked all the time, well, is the Q School, is the information I'm going to learn transferable? It is. It is. So you're not obligated to become an annual member. I hope you do at the end. I think you'll want to. We're comfortable with that. But if you want to take the information, you certainly could. But we're very comfortable we spend that amount of time together. You'll see the programs and see the value in the annual membership, and you'll want to do it. By the way, we'll just mention that as an annual member, from one year to the next, the cost goes down, and we give you 1 month free forward for every year you've been with us. So up to 6 months, we're virtually cutting the cost of the membership in half. So the idea is that we continue to add value, more and more value, in reducing your cost. And it works. Probably not a model most companies or most people would be doing, but we do. Okay, so we're on our last 5 minutes here. If there's any other questions, and Ben, you're certainly welcome to call anytime. Ben is a monthly member, and so you've kind of got a little head start there. We do schedule those Q schools, though. We do schedule them, so we try to keep it to no more than 2 people. Usually it's 1, but 1 to 2. And so it's very, very individual. Okay, so she just took another loss there. You see it? So she's cut our profits down in half, but we're going to let it continue to run. For this week, this particular program we've been running on Monday, it netted 868. I think we had a profit factor of about 1.8. Yesterday's sheet was very narrow. We were probably running it a little too fast. I think she netted about $150, very narrow profit factor. Right now, I can tell you what this has done, and let me give you an idea. I'm just going to run a trade manager analysis. And we started late because we had some technical issues. And yeah, I can tell you we're running a profit factor of 1.58, meaning we're making $1.58 for every trade. We've had 7 trades and percent profitable is 42, meaning we've lost 6 out of 10 trades, but we're still profitable. Mhm. Mhm. A lot of times people put, undue burden and actually hurt their overall performance trying to win on every single trade. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. No machine is gonna do it. And in fact, um, if you are trying to win on every single trade, you could be hurting yourself. And hurting the program. And we can show that. But we do delve into, we don't have the time here, and we're not inclined to do it on YouTube, but anything and everything we show, we do go into the intrinsic trading details. What have these things done? What would something do, in the past, over the past 2 weeks and or the last week? Now, that in and of itself is you can't, you got to be careful about drawing conclusions, because one of the things that Wall Street and Madison Avenue say, which is true, what's happened in the past may or may not happen in the future. And that's true. But we can use it as a model to help us understand what we're doing, to help us better manage it. So if you know what the average winning trade is, the average run up, the average rundown, when you get to that place, you know what you might do. You might take the profit, or you might set a break-even stop or something along those lines. It's very much, it's like a sport. It is like golf. It's like golf. If you're going to hit a 7-iron, you know roughly how far you're going to hit it. So you don't try to hit a 7-iron 300 yards, right? And so we get you starting out basically trading really a 1-minute time frame with some rules. We're just trying to get you to chip the golf ball. Just click, 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 chip, chip, chip. The last person to go through Q School is a gentleman by the name of Sai. We asked him on his last week. He was trading the 1 minute in the direction of the 5. And he had some other rules. He wanted to trade between certain hours, and he only wanted to trade so many times. And that's what he did. He did it. And he kept score. He finished his week. He finished his week on Thursday. He started the week early. He ended early, started his days early. I'm not going to punch up a scorecard. We've shown it before, but he finished with a profit factor of 4. He had been trading a long time, doing other things like this. The first time I've ever done that, meaning he made $4 for every dollar he put at risk. His net, I think, was like 3,000 for the week. Very, very mechanical, very specific. Okay, folks, we're going to need to sign off. Well, we are videoing this for our members. We'll try to condense it down later today, give you an update on how we do. Any other questions, you can always email us. You're always welcome to call. Thank you. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, QU. And appreciate it.